Dun 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 dun. Is this the last dance? Is it? Well, it turns out the Edmonton Oilers may be thinking about that because they just traded away Ryan McLeod to the Buffalo Sabres. Now, the thing is, this trade is an interesting one. We have acquired McLeod and Tyler Tullio from the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for Matt Savoie. The Buffalo Sabres tweeted this out, and a lot of people in Buffalo Nation are pissed the hell off. Why? It's not because Ryan McLeod is a bad player. It's not because Tyler Tullio is a bad player, but it's because Matthew Savoie was one of the best Buffalo Sabres prospects. In fact, if you go into the tweet, you just look at some of the replies. Somebody take away Kevin Adams' phone. Worst move Adams has ever made, and that's saying something. I know Buffalo fans aren't too happy moving one of their top prospects, but McLeod is no bum. One of the fastest players in the NHL with a great set of hands and even better vision. He plays a good 200-foot game, he's defensively responsible, and a hell of a PKer. He helps you now. This should tell you everything. This is a fantastic ad to the third center spot. He should work very well with Benson. I love this ad, actually. Everyone needs to stop overhyping Savoie. He's fine, but not all that we thought he would be. I think the fan should have been more specific. Bad trade. If McLeod and Savoie were in a skate race, who would win? People are kind of ticked off about this because Matthew Savoie is a very good prospect. Let's start out with him because I think this is a really good move for Edmonton. Not because losing out on Ryan McLeod is great, but because Matthew Savoie going over to a team with his brother Carter Savoie, that is the big thing that I thought about immediately when I saw this trade go down. Matthew Savoie's 20 years old, 5'10", 179 right-handed guy, and he's already signed on with his ELC. Offensive center, puck handler, and a speedster. He was drafted in the 9th overall spot by Buffalo in the 2022 NHL Draft. This guy had a lot of draft hype heading into the 21-22 season. There was a point in time where people thought that Savoie could have gone as high as 3rd overall. It was Matthew Savoie, it was Shane Wright, it was... oh boy, there was another guy. Oh man, I am completely blanking out. It was Brad Lambert, that's what it was. Savoie, Lambert, and Wright. Those were the 3 guys that a lot of people thought could have been the top 3 picks. They all could have challenged for 1st overall. This was an idea that was tossed out there even as far back as like 2019, when these guys were in the junior leagues, in their own minor leagues, whatever those things are called. But either way, Matthew Savoie in his draft-eligible season had 90 points in 65 games played. Very good player. He was taken a little bit later because he was small, and there was some concerns about his defensive off-puck play, but offensively, this guy could absolutely go. He had 1 game played with the Buffalo Sabres his most recent year, 5.6 games played in the Rochester American system, but he also played in the WHL, getting 47 points in 23 games with the Moose Jaw Warriors, and 24 points in 11 games with the Wenatchee Wild. He was a double point per game player on both of the teams that he had played on. Add these two together, you have yourselves, what is that, 71 points in only 34 games played? Yeah, literally a double point per game guy in the WHL. He only had 1 point, though, for Team Canada at the World Juniors. That's kind of weird. Unfortunately, though, for Savoie, his career with Buffalo never really took off because he got traded, and he is now going over to Edmonton to join his older brother in Carter Savoie. Carter, 5'10", 192, left-handed left-wing guy, just played for the Bakersfield Condors his most recent season, and he had 22 points in 63 games played. Now, the thing is, with Carter Savoie, he has a lot of goal-scoring potential. He was a guy in the AJHL and the NCAA that just could not stop putting the puck in the back of the net. A lot of Oilers fans were super hyped up about Carter Savoie because this guy had 20 goal potential on the power play at the NHL level. He was so good at just standing in one spot and just burying the puck. He would just plant his feet, get the puck, get the one-timer off, and then he would score consistently that way. Unfortunately for him, his AHL career did not start out with the same immediate goal-scoring pop like it did in the NCAA, but 10 goals and 12 assists in 63 games played this previous season certainly is a lot better than what he had last year. The thing is, with Carter Savoie, his off-puck play and his foot speed was always in question. The guy just did not backcheck at all when he was a draft-eligible player playing in the AJHL, so that was always going to be a concern out of him and his game. So as he rounds out more of his overall profile, this should be a nice transition to help him because his younger brother is going to be coming over to the team and potentially building up some chemistry with him. That's great. Now let's go over to the Buffalo Sabres and their point of view because they did make this trade. They did acquire the best player in this trade as of right now. Ryan McLeod is an NHL guy. 6'2", 207, left-handed center winger, and he signed on to the end of 2025, making $2.1 million a season. We did just make the video talking about the last dance with the Oilers and how Ryan McLeod is one of the guys alongside of Jeff Skinner, Evan Bouchard, and Leon Draisaitl whose contracts are all expiring at the end of this upcoming year. Ryan McLeod had 30 points in 81 games played, a pretty good increase over the 23 points he had, although the points per game last year was, I'd say, a tad better. He had 4 points in 24 games in the playoffs as the Oilers went over to the finals, including 3 goals in the Stanley Cup finals. Ryan McLeod didn't do anything point production-wise in the first 2 rounds. He had no points. And then, once round 3 began, a goal in Game 3 versus Dallas, a goal in Game 3 versus Florida, a goal in Game 4 versus Florida, a goal in Game 6 versus Florida. He kind of bolstered up his value with that Stanley Cup Finals run. Maybe that's why the Buffalo Sabres wanted to get this guy on their team. And then you have yourselves Tyler Tullio, who is being added on here too. 5th round pick by the Edmonton Oilers in the 2020 NHL Draft. 5'11", 181, right-handed center right-wing player, 22 years old. And this previous season for Bakersfield, he had 21 points in 54 games played. Honestly, if you think about it like this, Tyler Tullio and Carter Savoie are pretty similar, if you wanted to say that. So the Oilers are getting a huge upgrade in the AHL system for now. Matthew Savoie is going to come in here and hopefully light the AHL on fire with a lot of points. He was already under a point per game with the Rochester Americans this previous season. So the cost to doing that is Ryan McLeod, because Tyler Tullio, if you think about that, that's the slight player that's being upgraded here. Buffalo Sabres fans as well are kind of ticked off about this, but it goes out there in the article and really hypes up Ryan McLeod and his profile. Take a look at this. McLeod had 30 points in 81 games last season. He was a consistent figure for the Oilers in both the faceoff circle and on the PK. McLeod's average of 4.2 power play goals per 60 minutes during the regular season was the 7th lowest mark in the NHL amongst players with at least 100 minutes played shorthanded. What the hell is this? Why are they talking about these stats on the "we just acquired this guy" article? That's kind of crazy. He skated 36-43 shorthanded during the playoffs and was not on the ice for a goal against. That is some advanced analytics coming out of the Buffalo PR team. In the faceoff circle, McLeod ranked 3rd on the Oilers in draws taken and had a 50.8 winning percentage. The Oilers have owned positive shot attempt shares with McLeod on the ice at 5v5 in each of his 4 seasons, including a career best 56.6% share in 23-24. This is crazy! Some guy who has to be working for the Buffalo Sabres is super into the advanced analytics, because I think for the average Joe who's reading this, they don't know what any of this means. But this is some pretty advanced statistical work here by the Buffalo Sabres. So for Ryan McLeod, he brings good value. That's the thing. Like, he's not a bad player by any means. Then it talks here about Tyler Tullio. Nice. But there is positive value here coming over to Buffalo. It's just, I think a lot of Sabres fans are strung up on the fact that Matthew Savoie had sky-high potential, and thus the Sabres are giving up on him at this point in his career. So this trade is a pretty interesting one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Ryan McLeod and Tyler Tullio have been sent over to Buffalo for one Matt Savoie. Matthew Savoie is joining his brother Carter Savoie, and the Oilers are getting an elite top prospect. Is Matthew Savoie the best prospect in the Oilers system now? I'd say so. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're an Oilers fan or a Buffalo Sabres fan, how do you feel about this trade? I hope you enjoyed this video. 99 and bye.